I've chosen a piece for this evening called Jagado Dharana. It is about how Krishna's mother doesn't realize that she is mother to the Jagado Uddharana, the sustainer of the universe. It becomes relevant today in one of the charanams. The charanam is one of the penultimate lines. It says, Anoraniyana Mahato Mahimana, it says, in Kannada, written by the same poet Purandara Dasa. It says, in an atom is Lord Vishnu. In the greatest things is greatness. Aprameyana, immeasurable, uncontainable. He is in every atom, in a worm, a tiny insignificant thing like a worm, in an elephant, in a grain of sand, to a great mountain. That is how Lord Vishnu and all the gods are present everywhere, filling every space, external and internal. I present you that piece in relevance to today's theme, a theme that deeply moves me, that resonates with my philosophy of life and dance. So like I said, in the worm, in the elephant, in a grain of sand, to the great mountains. Whenever I do this piece, I feel very insignificant as a human being, as a spiritual being in this entire cosmos, this universe. I don't know how many people resonate with it, but as a dancer, everything dances for me. And completely a land of fantasy. There are times I don't know what is happening around. I can't find my memory stick. Like today, I couldn't find my memory stick. I couldn't find this. I had a upset stomach. And because I think my brother would tell me, he said, you dancers are completely lost in fantasy all the time. You're living in it's an unreal fantasy. But coming back to how insignificant I feel, I remember I've had, first of all, the most unconventional journey, and this is unconventional to you. Anyway, that's besides the point. I'm not talking about, initially everybody was very curious and said, wow, look at this thing. This is such a, such an exotic looking thing. So I had to keep on like telling people, oh, what's your story? Oh, wow, nice. Tamil Puriyamma. Oh, Kannada Paratha Ninge. Sir, in solpa bisibela bath togoni, sir. So I guess, so in solpa sir, please, sir, nange. You know, like, I'll get more food. Like, my friends would get kesari bath like this and I would get like one. And I'm the one with the weight problem. Anyway, besides. So I've been all over the country, deliberately not wanting to go abroad because I'm extremely like I have very poor patience and I can't sit in a flight from Mumbai to like Bangalore to Mumbai, which is an hour and a half. Imagine flying to America. So I've always told a lot of organizations, I'm not coming to US, I'm not traveling for 72 hours. I don't, because I'm just so full of dance and I need my dog is full of energy, everybody around me is full of energy, and it's just like that. So you know, like talking about insignificance, I've been around the country, subcontinent, and spoken to a lot of mosquitoes. Spoken, even animals love me. Anyway, so, and I love animals too. So, you know, I've spoken to a lot of people, and you know how dancers are. Look at us, you know, today is like a practice session, so I'm not in my regular silk and expensive temple jewelry. By the way, it costs a fortune. My students, you'll see beautiful girls, they're literally walking, talking ransoms. You can kidnap them and take them home and you can survive for like 2-3 months on that temple jewelry and ransom. And the beautiful girls also beside. The beautiful girls also beside. So I think as a dancer, I was talking one day at this conference and very proud of myself. Everyone said, wow, dancer, how brilliant this boy is, whatever. And then I was with other speakers and I felt so small in this universe because there was the youngest principal in the world. He opened his own school, his backyard, because there was empathy. Like, I am learning, I am studying, why are those other children not studying? Or this acid burn victim who was completely burnt out and she was in abaya. And for a dancer like me, our looks and our bodies are we're so connected to the materialistic, yet we're trying to run away to the spiritual. It's a very confusing world in a dancer's head and heart. So I felt very tiny. I said, look at me, I'm introspection. I'm dancing like this. I'm going to the gym, I get the best supplements, the food. Everyone, you know, you're a celebrated dancer. Especially a dancer like me, you know, I'm quite a, communicator, so I love storytelling. And Bharathanatyam is storytelling actually. If you can't tell a story, then you cannot be a good dancer. Bharathanatyam is not about external feeling, it's about internal feeling, which I feel today is dying out in the younger generation. My generation, or younger, it's even worse in the younger generation. But that's a different topic. Why? Because they are lacking, the most fundamental thing is a connection to the divine through nature, or the divine through how we grew up. Like when I was in Bangalore, growing up, cartoons once a week, Ramayana Sunday morning, I'm sure some of you resonate with that. We'll sit in front of the TV and fight the remote and say, Mujhe aaj ye dekhna hai. You know, I want to see that. Everybody wants to fight. So I felt so tiny, you know, like I'm this beautiful dancer, all dressed up and decked up and, you know, and not making a change in anybody's world. What is the use of being a dancer? You feel so empty. And then like this, there was one more session in the talk, and there were all technical talks. There was technology, there was lots of stuff like advertising, I remember, and people talking about innovations. And I said, let me go watch, I want to see what's happening. And then after 10 minutes, I'm like, let's go. And then you realize this world, music and dance, is such an integral part of a human being. You know, and I realized, my God, what if I wasn't there celebrating the universe, telling stories, teaching children to look at a bird, you know? And then I realized the purpose of my dance. I said, yes, I must dance. And, you know, there were times where a lot of dancers tell me, shh, behave a certain way, don't let your secrets out, be this diva. I can't be like that. Like, I'll tell you a secret, there were times where I've danced like a diva on stage. I've danced like my mouth is so tight. I've danced like a diva. I've not felt a certain thing. I have a standing ovation. I've not felt it. I've not seen the gods arise. I have not seen anything. And people are telling me, oh, I had goosebumps when you danced. And I'm like, I feel like such a liar. And we did that for many years. I think because the art form is so difficult, on so many layers, you're trying to first remember the repertoire, get into the feeling, handle this costume. Your musicians are there, your guru is sitting like that. Like if you make a mistake, you're finished. So you're so frightened. And there are like, you know, in Sabha, there are these old mama mummies, you know, sitting in the front, and they do your jewelries are moving stuff, and then they're like this. Stone face, I'm like, did I do anything wrong? And And then there are moments where I'm dancing and I'm lost in the moment, and then you hear, and then you get a goosebump. And then everything becomes real. And like I was doing a Shingara Padam one day, and the Nayaka tells Krishna, your heart is made of stone. And she looks at me, and I see Krishna standing there, and I fell to my knees. A goosebump moment. I said, this man has come alive, this creature has come alive. And then somebody was sobbing in the audience, because I think obviously love is the core of who we are. Whatever you say, you can be the most successful human being in the world, you can be some VP, whatever you can be, but you come home to an empty house, unhappy house, then it doesn't make sense to you. I've been there. Really successful young dancer, celebrated, saying the right things, doing the right things, touching people's feet, because go touch your feet, we'll get a program. Mami, namaskaram, mami. So you're doing these things that are not true with you, ringing true with you. I'm not going to say, oh my God, that mami is so vicious, I can't touch her feet. I'm like that. She's vicious, I'm not going to. But as you grow up, you realize that it's very important that we are all bodies of energy. And if you hang around with negative people, you will absorb that energy. And subconsciously, you will start becoming like that. So started letting people go, and positive people come in, and the universe is listening. The universe listened, and there was an influx of students. Why? Because first of all, as a dancer, it's very tough. So most teachers will start teaching because I have to make money. It's very tough to be a classical dancer. It's a tough choice, it's a tough career, there are politics, there's red tape, there's, you name it, there is. All the trouble, I'll tell you three things that in my opinion go hand are art, politics and religion. And Bharathanatyam is full of that. Steeped in religion, steeped in politics, and steeped in, what else was that? Anyway, so religion and politics, and red tape, what all that together. And then I started teaching because I said, oh God, I have to survive. And I told my parents, I want to dance, I want to teach. I'm sitting in an office in an advertising firm and dreaming about dance. My fingers are moving. Everyone says this boy is dancing throughout. Why is he even being a copywriter? And I said, stop lying to yourself and let's get there. So I started a few students, made a terrible teacher initially because I grew up a certain way. Pandriya India pat, Martya alve pat, you give the child. And you don't realize, and then you're growing up in this beautiful journey, and then suddenly it's like a desert in spring. Like a desert, and there's a rain and the whole desert comes alive, and then you love teaching. And then when you love it, people are coming towards you. I've got some beautiful students who just come through YouTube, through just a word, through a mother looking at me in the temple and just watching me dance with my teacher, my students, and they're stunned by the sheer artistry. I think it's not artistry, I think it's the deep centering of bhakti. For me, everything is magical, everything is divine. Everything is divine, not magical, everything is divine, everything, right? So, when when you have kids, and when I was a child, I was yearning to find the perfect guru. You have such notions, such innocent notions. The guru will teach you everything. The perfect human being. But I think we're all human beings, right? So, and then another thing I realized is, as a teacher, the student has to believe in the philosophy of the teacher, the spiritual philosophy, and also the philosophy of movement. So I bounced around a lot of teachers. I eventually found one teacher who understood me. Then, which was a tumultuous journey where it was like a tug of war. I will pull and she will pull, and I will pull, and she was a mother also. She is a mother. So tug and war, and it's a very uncomfortable journey. And then serendipity has it, sometimes. But I think failure is very good. So I failed in my eyes, in the eyes of people, saying the most politically incorrect things, and people take advantage of it. And the most important lesson I learned is, the more successful you are, the more good you are, I think they will pull you down. And I'm so naive, being politically incorrect. I just got pulled down. But I think I was honest, and with great integrity, I said I spoke only the truth, and my truth is my truth. And I rose again, because there was a great energy from the heavens, like said, I just saw like doors opening, like I got a chance, I got another chance, I got another chance. I just said, what, I'm in such a great phase, I have to talk about my story, my evolution in the last 5 years. And then the TEDxGokulam calls me. It's like the universe, I want something and it comes, I want something and it comes. So I think, as a teacher, I work really hard, be a committed, hard-working teacher. I may not be the best teacher, but I'm a very committed teacher. I learned it from another principal of a school, I slaved like a donkey in that school. How school children are, like 40 kids running like the popcorn everywhere. They're like, together, like 40 kids, and then I taught them for 3 years. I became one of the favorite teachers, and then fate had it and, just cut off. But I think that's good. What happened, and I failed. I failed miserably because I was not politically correct, and I'm grateful for that failure because I discovered people. I discovered how people are, how people can be. I discovered the extreme goodness of people and extreme wickedness that hides inside us. And I started connecting with everything. Like there's the yin and yang, right, of the Chinese, obviously my Oriental roots. So there's black and there's white and there's white and there's black. What does it tell you? Nobody's clean. Sab doodh ke dule nahi hai. You think, oh, I fell from the sky. But you have a black spot. And you're black, you have a white spot. So today as a teacher, I've also failed as a teacher. There was a student who was, it's so for me, everything is visual. I'm teaching him, he's pushing me back. I'm teaching the student, he's pushing me back. He's like a tree that's on fire and you're throwing water and it's burning you. Or, science, I failed in math, horribly in school, science and math. I'm an artist. So, a combustion or whatever it's called, you throw water on something hot and it comes to you, it burns you. So you move backwards. And I told somebody, this child is a burning tree on fire. He'll burn down and come to ashes, and if the rains come, he'll come back stronger or he'll get washed out. But that is karma. So many visuals. I told another student, he's like a river. He'll go and he'll dry up or he'll reach the ocean. I'm here to help him. If he's not taking it, then the river has to flow. So somebody told me very sweetly, very subtly, you're the black sheep of the Bharathanatyam family. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, she said, you just follow your heart. And that's the most important thing. Today I tell my students, I said, I have a dream. My teachers never allowed me to dream. They said, come on, let's do this together. Let's run to the biggest academy in Chennai and do dance this season, you'll be a star. Middle class family, middle class dreams, parents are pulling. It's like a horse that's trying to run and your parents are saying, come back, get married, get a job, do your CA, have 2 children, get one house, and then and I'll be happy when I see my grandchild's face and I'll die. Anyway, and my teacher's pulling me backwards. Adangu, don't, behave yourself. Oh, you think you're great? Shut up. And it's like that. Sumnero. Dance modashte. And I tell but I think that's sweet. They're mothers. There's so many layers, like today I'm a parent, I tell my students, shut up, do what I'm telling you to do. And some students are very cunningly planned. I said, this is the right way to go to the top. PR with this person. So I'm, living it like that. But I think most importantly, like I realized that I do my job, I love teaching. I can stop dancing also, and I love to eat. So that's a big problem for a dancer, Love to eat, and I cook also very well. So I'd rather be a teacher and I love to teach. And then as a teacher, sometimes you feel like I failed miserably with a few students. I wanted them to fall into place and say, let's do this together. So I tell my students, come on, let's do this. Give up your corporate job, let's do this together. Nothing is impossible. All the girls are like, yes sir, 2 more years and I'll quit it and we'll open our own dance school. And I'm there. And in giving is good karma. I give and I've grown by leaps and bounds. Like one day I was doing something and I realized, my God, that piece is tough and I've sung the whole Varnam. And in my sleep I'm composing things with great mathematics in it. And math was my weak point. So I was like, wow. And then you realize that the more you give, the more you get in everything. And I'm trying to change one life at a time. I told at my age I should be so affluent, driving I know other, I know other dancers who are successfully driving Mercs and driving fancy cars, and I'm like, auto, chalo, let's niklo yaar se. Because I've made a conscious decision, I will not teach 40 students or 500 students. I don't want to be an academy. I want to be a teacher who produces the next generation of fabulous dancers who move an audience with spirituality. I was talking in college in Bangalore and I did a piece and there were 700 kids. And like a diva, the best costume stunning, I felt like a diva and I walked off. In the evening, I got a message on Facebook from 700 students. One kid told me, sir, I think music, I learned music and it moves me. I've never thought dance could move me and I've moved to tears, thank you. I've changed their life. And I did a piece on Shiva and I could feel the energy rising and this child felt it. And I'm like a satellite and you're like dishes. Now if you're shutting off to me and say, oh my God, I'm getting bored with all this, the spiritual, whatever is going over my head, then it's gone. If you are saying, yes, I believe in goodness, I believe in spirituality, I believe that our human bodies are made of things beyond science. Our heart, science can never explain your heart. Your intuition. When I say don't do it, I do it, it happens. Science can't explain that. And then so I keep teaching and I'm here today. And as a teacher, I'm trying to be the best teacher, even though it's tough financially, emotionally. I have to look in my finances. I'm going to my teacher, I'm going to Chennai, I need to save money. I've got a puppy, I've got commitments, my parents are middle class. Mom's like, where's my money this month? Businesswoman. My mom's a astute businesswoman. So unlike her. So there's so many things, but I will not stop dreaming, and I will not give my dream up. I will not let my students give my dream up. 10 years, and I'm realistic. Like, I have my head on my shoulders. I know young dancers who learned dance with me, who learned overnight, and when I walk in, they're like this. They're so young. And where does that come from? That, like, listen to me, I'm this young dancer, I've achieved everything, so you better listen to me now. Or I'm going to carry myself with such a pseudo sense of achievement. When your dance is only given to you from a divine energy, when it comes from there. Tomorrow you're walking on the road and a car hits you, your leg gets cut, and you think you're going to dance. You're not going to dance. And even then, like in Kannada, it's my favorite saying. Do you know what this is? Nai bala donku, it says. The dog stays always like that. You tell them, don't do it, maadbeda, pannu venda, they will do it. And they will go ram themselves into a door. And then you say, told you, na. Told you, student. So teaching is not just me dancing. I pass on these values. My students and me share the deepest secrets. They will tell me, they will break down. By looking at her face, I know that something's happening. I remember students going through something and I said, are you okay? She was like, I'm fine. Poof, after class, she just went out. I felt so bad. And then the Guru-Shishya relationship is a very delicate one, a very beautiful one. You just know it's like a parent. I'm a second parent. I'll teach you about life. I'll teach you about the mistakes I have made. Don't make it again. And in this journey, I tell my students, let's get there in a decade. I will be India's best teacher. You will be one of India. And I don't want to produce one-offs. I don't want to produce one solo dancer in India. I want to produce the next generation of fabulous soloists who will pass on the next art form and pass it on. One student at a time. And not just, I'll be a diva and I'll dance. Pass it on. It's a beautiful journey. You will add and they will add. And it's like, and that moment where the desert or rain comes and it just bursts into spring and everybody is. And that's how dance is. So for me, I think this grain of sand, like a speck of dust, I feel like that. I've learned quite a bit as a teacher and a dancer. I know I'm competent enough to be called a guru. Not because of me knowing technical details, but also in deeply internal spiritual and emotional journey. There were times I was dancing on stage and the line, I forgot the line, it said, Lord Krishna, take me away. Narayana Smarani, it says, in good times, bad times. And I told God, I'm done. Take me. And I was moved and somebody came backstage and I don't know what this person was going through. And she went into like, it was a moment. Because I told God and I saw people, I said, Narayana, I said, take me away, Lord Narayana. And I saw people going, I heard that. And this whole thing is divinity and magical. And I think to be more realistic, it's not magical, it's love. If you learn to love yourself, you can love somebody else. If you learn to love what you're doing, truly, it will pass on. So for me, this grain of sand is so relevant where it is the desert and the desert is coming to life. And if there was no sand or mud, can there be a plant? My students are like that, they're like tiny plants. I am a grain of sand and I'm not just one grain of sand. I'm one grain. Their parents are the other, and all these people make these grains and we make the sand and the mud together and the plant grows. And how relevant. The first piece is called the Larapu. Alaru in Telugu, Tamil is flower. Poo is in all southern languages flower. So it represents the blossoming of the body, which my students will demonstrate to you. But in philosophical term, you're helping a child become a beautiful flower, spread its fragrance. So can the flower be without sand? No. Without mud? No. And I am that one grain of sand or mud that's helping. One grain. The Guru is one grain. When the Guru thinks I'm everything to the student, the student should fall at my feet and say, I am responsible for you, then that is wrong. Because we are all grains. Their parents, their friends, their journey of life. Even when somebody breaks a girl's heart, that is learning. You cannot express Abhinaya if you are not heartbroken. How will you know? And Bharathanatyam is full of Shingara. You know, there are a lot of Shingara. She says, Yahi Madhava, Yahi Keshava. You know, I forgot the line. Mavata Kaita Baba. She says, go, you've broken me, you cheated on me. Imagine being cheated on by somebody who's your entire universe. Life experiences are Abhinaya. And if you experience life, you can reflect that in dance. And dance is that reflection of love and life. And for me, love, the love for life, the love for dance is so important. And dance is a celebration of life and love and goodness and even bad things. If there's no hate, I would not have understood hate. If there's no racism, if there was no unnecessary, angst or corruption, will you understand goodness? Unless it's white, you won't understand black. And if the world was morbid grey, imagine if the world was just a morbid grey. How boring life would be. Everything would be samatvecha, it would just be flat. And there's a white, you see this beautiful human being making difference, and there's this black, and that contrast, and then we are here. And for me, that celebration of Bharatanatyam is the celebration of everything, of hate, of love, of anger, of people who've done bad things to me. But karma will get them. That's another point. That's another point. Bad things to me. I've learned. People have broken my heart. I have broken people's heart. I'm infallible. I have failed as a teacher. I have failed as a son. I've been a brilliant teacher. I've achieved so much as a human being. There's a balance, right? And I'm taking these young flowering plants, and I hope they all become flowers that spread their fragrance and pass on their art, and keep this beautiful cycle of growth. In sand, in the mud, there is mud, and these flowers will grow. I very proudly present my beautiful students, 3 of them. The alarico is the blossoming of a flower. It's a very simple looking piece. Like anybody says, Bharatanatyam? I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, so you know this, can you do this? I'm like, yeah. So the stereotype is that if you're a Bharatanatyam, then you must learn to move your eyes. But Bharatanatyam is such a complicated, sophisticated art form. It looks very simple to you, but it's full of numbers. The teacher needs to have great rhythm control, body control, aesthetic senses, spirituality. Just moving your body, there is a spirituality. Like I believe that as a youngster, at one phase, it's only your body. Moving your body is the first challenge. There's a physical awareness. When you come to your 30s and you get a little older, 30, 35, there'll be like a social awareness, like me, like saying that, come on, I have to do something, be a good teacher, reach out to somebody, you have extra money in your pocket, give it to somebody who's hungry, you have to do this good thing, rescue a puppy, or if you can't do all that also, like I have no money to give anybody, so, just be a kind, good human being, or be a good son, or be a good, just be good at what you do, and don't cause hurt. And then there's a point when your life, some people never achieve it, somebody like me achieve it. I'm in between this phase where dance has become spiritual. Some people never achieve it. It's always like, look at me dance, how beautiful I am, look at my body, look at my size 0, or look at my 6 packs or whatever. And then some people very early discover it. I'm in between that phase where my dance is a social obligation and my dance is a deeply spiritual obligation. I don't want to die. Not because I'm scared of dying, but I have so much to do to these students, and the art form is so beautiful, so vast, and in its breadth and beauty that it has to be passed on. And I understand it like that. Like I have an eye for beauty, telling storytelling, like how the Nayaka feels, how she looks, just with a look she says, don't hurt me. How can you do that to me? That's so beautiful. How can you hurt another human being? How can you go with another gopika and spend all night with her, and you come to me and you pretend like you're in love with me? Go away. And that is beautiful. That is beautiful, isn't it? And I'm here teaching that art of life through Bharatanatyam, through these blossoming plants and flowers. We'll do this Vishwa Malaripu for you.